So, do you remember this guy?
Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you! I'll tell you! This is bullshit!
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
His name is Joseph Fares, creative director of the recently released A Way Out, a part of the Electronic Arts EA Originals program that finds small developers with potential and gives them the resources necessary to realize their game. In case you haven't heard of A Way Out, it is a narrative-driven action-adventure split-screen co-op multiplayer game in which two players control two convicted prisoners, Vincent and Leo, as they plan out a prison break. The game launched just a few days ago on March 23rd, 2018, and it garnered overall positive reviews from both critics and consumers alike. The story was praised for its great characters and strong emotional resonance, the split-screen co-op gameplay design was complimented for its creative implementation, and it's generally agreed upon that it's one of the more refreshing and fascinating titles in recent memory. Now, this being an EA game, many people were worried that the infamous publisher would find a way to muck it all up somehow. The question of what's the catch constantly lingered as plans for the game seemed too good to be true. Let's start with the fact that after the game's release date was announced, it was also revealed that the game would only cost $30. Just about everyone expected this game to charge the usual $60, maybe $40 at best, so this price point came at a pleasant surprise. Then there was the fact that according to what Joseph Fares said during his rant at the Game Awards, EA had been treating him, his studio, and his game well, saying that he was given full creative freedom over the project and stating that the publisher is giving Joseph and his team 100% of the revenue generated from the game's sales.
In this case, it's like they've been treating me very well. That's what I'm saying. I have 100% of the income to my team for the game I'm doing, you know?
And it's coming soon, right?
Yeah, I'm talking too long.
The part about EA not making any money out of the game was particularly shocking. The notion seemed too miraculous to believe. This is EA we're talking about. But then, in an interview with website The Sixth Axis, just a few weeks prior to the game's launch, Joseph Fares confirmed that EA wasn't making a penny out of this project. He said, quote, "Here's the thing, and you have to understand this. With this deal that I have for this game, EA is not making a single dollar out of this. Every single dollar is going to the developer. They're not even making any money, and all I've got is support from EA. They have not questioned the vision. They can't because I won't allow it. So they have been super supportive all the way. Even with this buy one friend pass thing, no problem." Speaking of which, Joseph also announced during and after the Game Awards that A Way Out would implement something called Friend Pass. This essentially allows players to play online with their friends with just one copy of the game. As Joseph Fares so aptly put it in one of his tweets, quote, "If you want to play A Way Out with your friend online, you only buy one copy. Hashtag fuck buying two copies." For an experience that relies so heavily on co-op, it is obviously a fantastic decision from a consumer perspective. But from a business one, it goes without saying that such a strategy decreases sales and revenue potential. Think about that for a minute. Player experience at the expense of revenue, that is literally the complete opposite concept of how EA has operated over the past few years. So the fact that the publisher was even allowing this came as a shock to many. So what we were looking at here was a fairly priced $30 game that allows friends to play together with just one copy from which EA won't make a single dollar, with all the revenue going to the developers. Again, for a lot of people, it all just sounded too good to be true, so the expectation was that the shady aspects of the game that aimed to nickel and dime players would reveal themselves come launch day. But against all expectations, when the game launched on March 23rd, 2018, there was none of that to be found. A Way Out turned out to be a fairly priced, consumer-friendly, proper, complete game that prioritized gameplay over profit through and through. For once, there were no strings attached to an EA-published title. For those wondering why I'm even talking about this, I think that we can't instigate change just by pointing out what's bad. We have to acknowledge what's good as well. We've got to give credit where it's due via positive reinforcement, and I've got to say for once I will commend EA for setting aside their greed and doing a great job with the publishing of A Way Out. I could almost glean a little bit of Sony from how this all turned out. They gave Joseph Fares and team the financial and creative support that they needed to realize their vision without any compromises, and the result result, a damn good game. Nothing more, nothing less. I really hope that A Way Out goes on to sell well so that EA can realize that there is value in making single-player games that place consumers at the forefront, but I can't give all the credit to EA. Above all else, I've gotta give a massive kudos to Joseph Fares for being uncompromising in his vision. Not gonna lie, when I saw him at the Game Awards 2018 in his drunken stupor, I didn't know if this guy was worth taking seriously, if he was for real or not. There was clearly a lot of enthusiasm there, and as hilarious as the whole display was, I couldn't tell if there was any substance behind it. But now I can say for sure that my doubts were unfounded and that this guy is genuinely passionate about games, and that this guy respects consumers. Not to mention that he seems to be a pretty competent game designer, having proven himself with the 2013 title Brother: A Tale of Two Sons, and now again with A Way Out. Mainly I hope this game sells well because I genuinely believe that Joseph and team deserve success. The game does seem to be doing pretty well for itself though, surpassing Fortnite to become the most watched game on Twitch during its launch day, showing that there is a lot of interest behind it. Now, going back to EA, while A Way Out was certainly a beacon of light among an otherwise corrupted landscape, the question still remains if EA can remain consumer-friendly moving forward, or if they'll revert back to their old habits. Between A Way Out's release and Battlefront 2's recent overhaul, EA has shown some positive signs, but none of it will matter if it doesn't stick in the long term. Upcoming games like Battlefield 5 and Anthem will greatly inform whether the publisher has learned their lesson and whether they'll strive to recoup what's left of their tarnished reputation, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Until then though, for now, I will commend EA for supporting A Way Out through and through and not messing with it in any way, and I will give all the kudos to Joseph Fares for doing some good in the gaming industry. These are all just one man's thoughts and opinions anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. It is completely optional, but donating even as little as $1 a month will go a long way in helping this channel grow. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.